All right, welcome back to Getting Started with Angular 2025. Last time we looked at ngIfs or @ifs, and today we're going to look at @for directives. Do we still call them directives? Well, I'm going to call them directives. I don't know what else to call them. So we created one. There's only one in this entire project for now. This is the very bare basics of an @for loop, and what we have is a signal that gives us the list, and we're tracking it by the index. So this is something you'll probably see in the Angular tutorials. And for a list that does not change, tracking it by its index is okay. If you want to track it by, if your list does change, then you probably want to have a different implementation to track the uniqueness of each object. So with our current implementation, this is a string, and each of the items in this list is uniquely identifiable. So if we wanted to, we could track by the string variable itself, and that should satisfy the track. But if you have an object, you probably want to track by some sort of ID or other uniquely identifying attribute. So let's move on to another file and try to implement that ourselves. Implement one ourselves. In our home component, I want to create like a menu list, and I created this mock object, mock list for now, to loop over this future link or menu list, and we have these mock values for now. Let's just go over how you would do it. So we're going to do a @for menu item of menu. Do I have it as a signal? I don't. Okay, so if I don't, let's just leave those off for now. And this is the first thing you'll notice if you do not complete this row, is with an @for, track is now mandatory. In the old implementation with the star ngFor, you could omit the track by function, but with the new syntax, you must provide the track property. So let's just finish that. That is not proper completion, so I'm just going to move our list inside. All right, so that is a proper implementation of a @for. Now, like I mentioned, you probably want to avoid tracking it by the index if you can help it. And in this case, we're not using an ID, but we do have another uniquely identifying attribute, which is our value. We probably don't want to use the label, just because your value ideally should be unique. And if for whatever reason, if you're looping through, let's say, a list of accounts and somebody creates account name of the same type, like a savings account, now you have two accounts labeled savings. So the value is probably going to be your safer bet for that kind of situation. So we're going to do a menu item dot value. All right. And then this can autocomplete. So let's do that. Router link We just need to import that. I don't like that it's doing this double curly syntax. That's a lot of double curlies. Why did it come back? Get out of here. Okay, so it's still complaining because we haven't imported router link. So let's import that. Also remember that this is standalone, so router link. Save that, and now that should be happy. We have menu item and menu item dot label, so that should work now. What else can we do? Well, if for whatever reason you need to style them differently based on their index, you could do a let I equals $ index, and this will give you the index of each item. So starting from the first one, it'll be 0, 1, 2, and so forth. It's a standard JavaScript index, so 0 based. So you do with that what you will. Next, there are other what's called contextual properties for this, and it's auto-completing for me. So you have last, you also have first. Yep, I'm just gonna go through the entire list, even and odd. So if you need to use any of these values, if you want to style them differently, so let's say if you want to say class even equals even, well, now you can style even numbered rows and give them some sort of special treatment, like a different colored background. Now, yeah, well, you just use those however you like. One of the features I liked from another framework was the ability of saying if the list was empty, I'd rather not render nothing. I'd want to render something that says there's no results or some kind of other item that lets the user know that something should be here, but it's not. And I need to find that thing. Well, it's from Svelte, and it's the... Oh man, I need to get that. Whatever. Anyway, with Angular, you have an @empty, which also does the same thing. I really should have read the patch notes on this before, because I wanted something like this for a long time, and they added it. So autocomplete, thank you. So yeah, if you needed something like this, well, now it's available. If you wanted to do something like this in older versions of Angular, it's a lot more complicated. And let's just write it out, actually. So for an equivalent of the above, we would have to do something like this. I and then ngFor equals... Okay, I don't think we're gonna do all of that. We'll just get rid of these. Okay. And not autocomplete. So bring that in. And I'm going to get rid of this by adding the common module. We're going to need a couple of these things, so I'm just going to import the common module altogether. All right, and because there is no empty, we would have to do something like this. ng container, ng if equals menu.length is more. Okay, yeah. That's nice. I'll bring that up. If the menu length is greater than 0, then we render the list. Else, we render an ng template of no items. And I don't know. Does this look like cleaner syntax or is this cleaner? I think if we got rid of this let, it might look quite similar. I feel like this is a more coherent solution than this disjointed one. This feels disjointed because of this else, right? All right. I think that's it for the @for control flow. If you have any questions, leave a comment in the comments below. All right, peace.